All right. Am I coming in 5 by 5? 10-4. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Look at this lively bunch. Gotta wait for the video to start. Oh, look at that. Dudes, I have less technical problems, I swear to God, on this stream than I ever did on Gaming and BS. And I'm not sure why. There's only one factor that's missing. Just kidding. I'm kidding. How's everybody doing? Morning, Ryan West, first to the punch. Ty, this guy. Ty, every weekend I wake up and I wonder, what am I gonna experience with Ty? And the guy's here at 6 a.m. his local time. Bright, early, bushy-tailed. Second guy to comment. William, morning. Nelson, morning. Up at 7, long weekend. Nice. Is it holiday weekend in Canada? Is that, or is just you just taking some vacation? Harrigan, morning. Good to see you. It's been a long time. Ty, Marvel Multiverse is here. Who can I play it with? Good morning. M. Catron. I keep saying M. I know your first name. I keep saying M, though. It's weird online, right? Like there's, people have their monikers for a particular reason. So I'm always trying to be sensitive to that. Blake Ryan, good to see you. Morning coming from down under. How's it going? 4C here. Been reading Vaesen. Or Vaesen. I'm going to start calling it Vaesen. I don't know why. Vaesen. I have the video. It's chopped up. Now I just have to put it together. I have a feeling that I want to do more B-roll than I should, and I don't have any. I don't know. I got to get my Wolverine on. Luke, morning. Can't stick around too long. Hey, we'll take whatever you're willing to give. Catch the QDJ. What is the QDJ? What am I missing here? What's up, Prenzlau? Good to see you. How you doing, buddy? Hope well. Ryan says, oh, man, I took a long weekend for my anniversary and started working on my day off. I've been programmed too well. Nelson says, civic holiday on Monday. Not sure what that's for, but I'll take it. We should all be fortunate to take. I think America, Canada, I think the world should share all holidays, right? If it's a holiday in Tokyo or Japan, we should all take it. Why not? Sean, how long was your power out last weekend? Well, that's a good question and a trick question nonetheless. So the Saturday that I streamed, you're probably talking about Ty after this, like as I got cut off from the stream last week. So for those of you that weren't here, last week, this time, we were recovering from a storm. And my power had been out 7 hours that night. And I might have water damage in my house. So, I got that going for me, which is pretty nice. Nothing too serious. So 7 hours, and it came on at 5 in the morning. So then I streamed. And then literally, I think it was 15 minutes maybe to the end of the stream. I was literally going to be wrapping up and the power just cut out. Poof. So that was out for probably, I don't even know if it was a 40-minute outage. It was pretty short. Short enough where my wife's coffee wasn't made because the power went out. So I was going to go and grab her a cup of coffee at the place that I buy donuts every morning. And when I did, since there was a power outage, the street lights, stop and go lights, some of you refer to them as, I call them stop lights, were blinking, right? Power outage, now they start to blink. When I went through the lights, I looked at my rear view and they were no longer blinking. So I actually thought I ran a red light. But So from the time I think I left to get my wife coffee, like it's, to hit those lights, it's like 30 seconds. The power had come back on. So when I came, like she called me at the coffee shop while I was right before I was ordering and saying, like, it's good, it's back on. So it wasn't that long. That is the look. If you're going to ask me a question, I'm not going to give you a 2-second answer. Okay, it's just not going to happen. So there's the story. Thanks for asking, Ty. Good morning, Tad. Question du jour. Let's see. I would say so. I think it's kind of I had to come up with something last minute. So I didn't have a lot of time to prep because I gamed last night. So some of the things that I would have done at night before, that's not always the case, but I gamed last night. I'll talk about it in a brief second. I would say, okay, it's got to be a book, and it can't be a rule book. It could be any book that you would recommend to any gamer. A book that you would recommend any gamer, and it can't be a rule book or a supplement. Okay, so it could be a fiction book. It could be a book like the monsters. What are the monsters know what they're doing, right? A book like that, something that maybe complements a game, or maybe. I don't know if that would be a supplement or not. I think I put it out on Twitter one year. What one book that's non-RPG would you recommend to a gamer or even a non-gamer that you wanted to get into gaming? What one book? It could be a book of inspiration. It could be a book on, like, I don't want to give too many suggestions because then people will be like, oh, yeah, I'll pick that one. What book, and the author, if you remember. Oh, the first one, M. Catron is on it. He says, Play Dirty by John Wick. And for those that might not know who John Wick is, he's actually a game designer. This is not the movie character. I'm sure he's loving that. I don't know. So he did... Seventh Sea. He worked on The Five Rings, I think, back in the day. So he wrote that book. Could be an advice book like that. Would be one example. It's like, hey, if you're going to be a role-playing gamer, you got to read this book. Could be something for inspiration, like I mentioned. Ryan West says, Soon I Will Be Invincible is the book I most often loan to people. Interesting. I might have to check that out. Look at you guys coming up. Blake says, Hero with 1,000 Faces by Joseph Campbell. Good stuff. Lots of stuff. Good stuff. The Lazy DM by Mike Shea says, Phil McClory. Good morning, Phil. Been a long time. Hope you're doing all right. Ty Prunty says, Rune Jammer 2033 online gaming this weekend. Con to play ICRPG or EZD6 like that. Gotcha. And at first I thought it was the books that he was recommending. Ryan West says, Austin Grossman wrote, Soon I Will Be Invincible. Anything Joseph Campbell is great. Ty says, Jim Butcher's Harry Dresden series always gets me in the mood. Oh, well, there you go, Ty. Thanks for sharing. Ted says, the Incal Comics by Mobius, a comic book we will accept. Luke Hayes says, the DK Eyewitness nonfiction books for kids, great for inspiration, good ones. Medieval arms and armor, castles, plants, mythology, and insect. Interesting. So that's some good ones to sink our teeth into. Roger French, good to see you. Roger says, The Science of Storytelling by Will Storr. I put these out. People are going to be jotting them down. I should probably put them down in the thing down below for people to pick up. Myself included. Victor Wyatt, good morning. Did I miss anybody by not saying good morning? Phil, I saw ya. Wayne says, good morning, Wayne. It's been a long time. I say this because these guys I gamed with, like, what is it, 8 hours ago, 10 hours ago? Wayne says, A World Lit Only by Fire, A Brief History of the Middle Ages. Very lively read, recommended since most RPGs are fantasy and based loosely on the Middle Ages. I'd say that's probably a good reference point. Salt Heart of Salt Heartlandia. Good morning. He says, really, I just say pick a game based on a series book you love. Tackling RPGs with a setting you love is a great way to start. Rules or advice be damned. Well, there you go. Put that stake in the lawn. So I'll pose this to you, Mr. Salt Heart of Salt Heartlandia. What book would it be? What would be yours be? Specific, especially coming from somebody that's done Burn 2D6. So if you haven't picked up your... Oh, I put it on the shelf. I thought it was right behind me. For those of you that haven't picked up your copy of Burn 2D6, make sure you go do that. You can get it at Drive-Thru RPG, PDF and print on demand, I believe. M. Catron says, for a classic take, The Count of Monte Cristo. Not Crisco. The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Master story of tragedy and revenge. Very cool, very cool. I have read The Three Musketeers. I'm interested to see the movie, the one that's coming out, in French. That should be interesting. Blake Ryan says, what is your book, Sean? Come on, Blake. You got to give me at least like 30 of these that I can go through and hopefully think one of my own as I'm doing that. I would say, I think one that comes off the top of my head that I think would be, that's pretty good, even though I don't play the game, is The Monsters Know What They're Doing by Keith, how do you say Keith's last name? Ahneman? Is it? No, it's an A, an M, and an N in there somewhere. Of course, it's definitely geared towards 5th edition. There's no question about it. He uses 5th edition like references for monsters, but it is truly a way to run monsters in 5th edition specifically. However, I would say that if you removed a lot of the mechanics, which I don't think he goes into a huge ton of them, you could use it for any fantasy RPG. So if you ran OSE and you're putting trolls in there, if you read his book, he tells you how trolls would act and if you came across them, whether like the tactics they would use, would they run, would they fight, what if they're in more than packs of more than 2, things of that nature. Like, it was a book where it's like, we should know as game masters, it's kind of like, yeah, this should be how GMs run monsters. But we don't. So I think that would be one of them at the top of the list. The other one would be Ben Riggs's history on TSR, which is what, the Slaying the Dragon by Ben Riggs. I think I enjoyed quite well. I think there's a few takes on the hobby and the history, and I liked his take. I liked the way he approached it. I was mildly surprised that he really tried to get like Lorraine's take on TSR, but she wasn't willing to comment on anything, which is unfortunate. So I like that one. So if it was like a history kind of book, like, hey, you want to know about the origins of the hobby? Here, read this book. It's pretty good. So I think those two would be at the top of my list. I have a third one. I might grab it. I think I can grab it. Hold on a second. I haven't used this a lot, but it's the Ultimate Spy Book by Keith Melton. I think I picked this up at like Half Price Books for like, well, half price. I mean, it probably wasn't even $10. It's the Insider's Guide to the Secret World of Espionage, and the reason I got it was because there's a lot of pictures. So. And some ideas, right? And it spans the era of spycraft. And I'm like, if you're running an espionage game and you want to kind of immerse yourself and understand some of the tools and gear that you would give your players, then this thing's gold. And it's not that big, right? It's a big kind of, well, it's not 8.5 by 11. I don't think. It's got a weird kind of more square format. But I mean, without the index, it clocks in at 169 pages. So that's another one. Reference material. And it doesn't even have to be for a game master, honestly. It could be just for a player who wants to get into some of the kooky Q, the Q division of espionage games, if you will. I thought that was pretty cool. So all right, back to the group. Saltheart says, loved Lord of the Rings books, and I used Rollmaster back in the day to bring it alive. So it's LOTR for me. Nice. Wayne says +1 for Dumas. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one. Top notch. Nubis. Play Unsafe by Graham Walmsley. On Downtime and Demesnes by Courtney Campbell. Very nice. I have Play Unsafe by Graham Walmsley. I have it actually, I think, on audio. Do I have it on audio? But I do like that one. Yeah. And if you're not familiar with Graham, he's done quite a bit of Call of Cthulhu work. So, yeah, he kind of, by saying Play Unsafe, he's kind of like just let go, like especially with prep. That's kind of his angle, I think, if I recall correctly. Nubis was like, there's a underlying self-consciousness with game mastering, I think, where you need all your bases covered. Like, you have to know all the names in a scene, and when things go awry, you get thrown off very easily. And so a lot of people tend to probably over prep more than they need to. And Graham's just like, man, write 5 bullets down and just use those as part of an encounter or a scene. It's kind of like letting yourself go. That's what the Play Unsafe piece is. Blake says, if I recall correctly, Melton was CIA back in the day. Oh, was he? He might have been. I didn't read the foreword. The foreword's by William Colby. So if you're not familiar with William Colby, some of you might not be in the U.S., he was the former director of the CIA. And then the other one was Oleg Kalugin, which is a former major general of the KGB. So they both wrote forewords. So I imagine there must be some Russian stuff in there too. So, the days of the Cold War. Ever read the CIA Book of Dirty Tricks? I have not, although I think I might know of it. I have not read it, no. Maybe I'll have to check that out as well. Look at this. Snapshot 750. Hey, welcome. Notion Video just brought me here. Well, fantastic. I hope it was it's a little long, I think. Most of the people could probably get what I'm putting down in that video in the first 15 minutes, but I hope it helps you out in the RPG planning. Notion's awesome. I need it. Excuse me. I need to use it more, but I find then I'm probably doing too much prep. But I do like, and I will give big props to Mike Shea. I use a lot of his templates and things of that nature for Sly Flourish. So I think if you get his template and bring it over to Notion and start using it and kind of how it works for your RPGs and gallery and cross-linking everything, then you can, once you get that interface down, you'll understand how it works, and then you can modify it to your own liking. So sweet. I'm glad you could join. So as a new person, some of the history, I used to do a podcast with a co-host of mine named Brett, and I'm Sean. And so Gaming NBS was born. Many of the folks that are in the chat were very diligent listeners to that and contributors because they write in on occasion. So we did that podcast for 7 years, started up this YouTube channel. And the live streams I started near the end of the Gaming NBS podcast. So it's the episodes are still out there. If you're interested in taking a look at it, you can just go to gamingnbs.com. We have like over 400 episodes. Although I do think the feed is tapped at 300 for some reason. Some places put a cap on the amount of episodes that are brought up in an RSS feed. So thank you for joining. I stream here every morning at 8 a.m. Central Time for a couple of hours and talk about news and some of the things. And I usually get them from the same sources like EN World. So if you're a big EN World fan, some of these things may not even be news to you. So thanks for joining. The Ultimate Spy book looks a lot like those DK books, Lou says. Ty says, cannot go wrong with DK books. Adam Ness says, Play Dirty by John Wick. So we got 2 votes for Play Dirty by John Wick. So a question to you guys about Play Dirty. I think John revised it, didn't he? Like relatively recently. And I think he admitted that the first edition to the second edition, he admits that when he wrote the first edition, he was quite a bit younger. I think he admits to being a little bit more crass. I don't know. Days of the Cold War. You mean now? Ryan West says. Yeah. I think it was worse back then, honestly. Maybe now. I don't know. I don't remember some of the leaders meeting with them, meeting each other. Chris, morning. Adam Ness says, and Ken Height's Suppressed Transmission series as well, he adds. Very nice. Very nice. Question of the day is, what book would you recommend to a role-playing gamer? New, old, somebody that's been doing it a while, somebody that might be getting in the hobby that is not necessarily a role-playing game book. I've kind of skirted that. I said the monsters aren't. The monsters know what they're doing. Is it a role-playing game book? I mean, that one's probably getting a little close, but Blake, thanks for putting it out there, letting people know. Ryan as well. Nice. Living Ritual, good morning. Salthar says, Lord of the Rings really gives some instruction on how to put a party together. 1, threat forces you and friends from village. 2, meet in a tavern. 3, given a quest by luminaries. 4, party member death and dying. And 5, how to split the party. Yeah, it's like a whatever 3-act play, right? 8 story beats or whatever. I don't know. the outline of every story. Hit that like button, baby. Yeah, Lou, kudos to you. Thank you. That's right. If you're shopping for any of these books right now, hit that like button. Give it a smash if that's your thing. Give it a dislike if you don't like any of the books or you don't like me. That's fine. I would say comment in the comments below, but I don't think those show up until after. So if you see this on video on demand, make sure you put a comment down below. Put your own book that you would recommend. I'm interested. Thanks, Lou. Curtis. Oh, man. Curtis Takahashi in the house. What is going on, man? I was thinking about you the other day, and I know you think I'm bullshitting you, but I'm not bullshitting. I was like, what happened to Curtis? Where is that guy? What is he doing? I hope everything is well. Good to see you, man. Welcome. Curtis is out on the West Coast, right? Or at least he was. Good to see you, Curtis. I've gamed with Curtis. Brand Mothership. He was in that game. Thought we might have been in another game too, Curtis, but I can't remember. Good to see you. So Curtis, I don't know if have you been to a Saturday morning stream? If you have, it's been a while. So wow, blast from the past. Look at that, Harrigan. Harrigan remembers Curtis. Some of us have, when I ran the Mothership game. There might have been another person in the chat, and it was Jared Rasher, Jeff Goad, Curtis. Now I'm gonna feel bad because I can't remember the other two. I think it was like a 5-person party. The video is on. I think it's on this channel. Might be on the Gaming ABS channel. Curtis, tell us a book that's not specifically an RPG rule book or supplement that you would recommend to a fellow role-playing gamer. Jim was one of them. Yep, Jim was one. Yeah. Nicholas Abruzzo, good to see you, buddy. Hope you're coming up for Game Hole. It's not that far from you, man. Come on, man. Take a drive. Nick says, essential for D&D Cudgels Saga, Cudgel Saga, D&D Cudgel Saga from Jack Vance. Probably the best fantasy for understanding D&D without being D&D. Awesome example of use of language, dialogue, culture, and food. Nick, did you get in on the Dying Earth product from Goodman? Got a good crowd today. Awesome. Man, I love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Thanks, everybody, for joining and contributing. You'll notice on the Discord, when I scheduled this event, I'm changing the splash page or the thumbnail of these videos from here on out. It's not just Saturdays with Sean. It's going to be Saturdays with Sean in the chat. Dosh gone it, because this is your show too. And if I had the money, I'd pay you all, because, and now this will bite me in the ass when I actually make any money, which I probably won't ever. That's fantastic. Blake Ryan, sponsored by Vanilla Coke. Yeah, I don't have any today. I got to cut that stuff out, Blake. It's going to totally give me diabetes. Diabetes never tastes so good. Is that it? Are we good? Did everybody chime in? Ones that wanted to anyway? Thanks for doing that. Yeah, some good books. I might have to read many of them I haven't read myself, so I will double check into those. I know I'm going to have a latecomer. Bill's in the mail, Sean, for paying me to be here. The check, I have sent the check for sure. Harrigan says, most of my ideas have been taken. The Designers and Dragons series is decent, but I'll say The Enchanted World. It's a Time Life series. Wow, Time Life books. That's, they don't do those much anymore, do they? I don't stay up that late on the other channels of TV to see, so. Designers and Dragons series is indeed pretty decent. A lot of the history of a lot of role-playing game companies and games. Curtis, he's going to chime in. The Dumarist of Terra books, the basis of Traveler. Oh, interesting. Time Life books, they're old like me, says Harrigan. Mr. Panther, 54, not 53 or 55, people. Let's get it straight now. Mr. Panther, good to see you. Says Dying Earth is great. I'm new to the hobby, and that book got me ready for the weirdness of DCC. Lots of great suggestions here that I need to look into. Well, hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the hobby. Glad you could be a part of it. What did I put in there? Oh, I clicked on Nick's by accident. No, did you? I did not get in on Dying Earth. I haven't read Dying Earth and any of Jack Vance's stuff. I suppose I should. Do I have to surrender my geek card now? I don't know. Even if I did read the series, I don't know if I would want the game. I guess I would have to read the series or read the book and then go, oh, this is great. Then I'd buy the game. And I've been told that, what is it? Libers is better. The brain fart. The DCC setting for Lankmar. Oh God, you guys are like screaming at your monitor. The series, the Lankmar DCC would be a better, a DCC that I might prefer. I like DCC. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes like I've mentioned before, it reminds me of Serious Sam so much. Like guys running around with like no heads and bowling balls, like attached to chains to their torso, running around, yelling at you, coming at you. It's just too much. So bringing it down to more of a traditional sword and sorcery or fantasy game would probably be more my jam. That's just me. It's me. Nothing wrong with DCC. It's a great group, great game, lots of good modules, great monsters. It's just a tone thing with me. That's all. Let's not get crazy. What? No choose your own adventure books? Wow, touche. Matty Q, good to see you. Matty Q coming in tail end on the question du jour, which is what book would you recommend to a role-playing gamer that's not a role-playing game book? So no rule book, no supplements if you can withhold from those, but recommend. Avalon, but greater than Lankmar. You know it. Yeah. Well, Brett's Avalon to me is more, it's like more Victorian era, like as he sets it, which is fine. It's just shifts it a little bit from what I would think is like typical medieval. I think Brett would agree. I don't think he would dispute that. I talked to Brett lately. He's doing well. He passes along well wishes and hellos to everybody, even though he's on our Discord every once in a while. I was checking in on him. Curtis says, well, if we're going to talk choose your own adventure, the Choose Cthulhu series of books runs like Call Cthulhu. He says you die or end up in the asylum. Of course. Adam Ness. It's like this is like third one. Come on, Adam. He's overindulging. 3 Hearts and the 3 Lions is probably the closest to pre-D&D book to D&D. Matty Q says, I think Simbroom has a pretty awesome readability, for sure. Chris says, play unsafe and improv for gamers, but those might be too close to RPG books. Nope, I would say that they're not. And I only say that because I think they help, but I don't think they're, like, you're not going to have improv for gamers at the table as you're running the game. Rule books and supplements, probably. But those two, not so much. You would read them ahead of time. So I would accept those. Very, very good choices. And play unsafe spin. That's like, I think you're number 3rd or 4th that mentioned that. So, all right. We got to move on from the question du jour. Thanks for everybody for contributing. Much appreciated. And I think some probably haven't read some of even the big ones like Play Unsafe. Now they might like take a look at that. Ty says Jim Butcher's The Cider Spires new book is coming out of this year, set in a crystal punk setting. Interesting. What is crystal punk? There's too many punks out there. Should say that in my Clint Eastwood voice. Probably get across a little bit better. You read crystal punk? All right. Where do we start This week, do we start with the Ennies? The Ennie Awards. Well, let's start out with Deanna Jones. Do you guys all know who won the Deanna Jones Award? I'll give you a hint. It's two animals. Wow, how far back do I need to go? I think I got some old ones in here that I haven't deleted. That is right, Blake. Blake, you win. Tell him what he wins, Johnny. Well, thanks for playing, Blake Ryan. You're the proud winner of a pat on the back, a virtual pat on the back, no less, because you're just simply too far away, which is everybody. But if you were here, that's what you would get. Coyote and Crow end up getting the Deanna Jones Award amongst all the other. And as I'm trying to find the actual article, I thought, and of course, I do not have the browser plugged in. So let me just say I didn't finish up setting up, obviously. So let me just do that. Selfie with Augie. Can you see him in the background? Probably not. Come on. Get this out of my way. Hold on. Bear with me. Look at that. As soon as I say I don't run into too many technical problems, what are you going to do? There we go. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Here we go. Coyote and Crow. Anybody play this yet? You win a brand new refrigerator. The coveted Marvel No Prize. Yeah. So Coyote Crow wins 2023 Deanna Jones Award. Other finalists to bring back your memory was Linda Codega, the journalist, critic, and game designer focusing on tabletop gaming for IO9 and Gizmodo. It was not a total loss for Linda because she won an Ennie Award. So there. Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel, which also won an Ennie Award. So, Rosenstrasse, a role-playing game by Moira Turkington and Jessica Hammer, published by Unruly Designs. And the other one was Cole Worley, a game designer, or Verl, if you really want to get into it. Game designer, creative director at Leader Games, and a co-founder of Verthig Games. So there you go. They continue. Coyote and Crow is an RPG created by Cherokee designer Connor Alexander. In the game, Alexander shrewdly imagines an alternate universe that exists outside of the horrors of colonialism. The game foregrounds the traditions and cultures of Native American people in its world, encouraging players to imagine stories that challenge the Western canon of storytelling that is today ubiquitous in RPGs. Coyote and Crow challenges us to tell different stories with the games we play and encourages us to imagine worlds beyond that which we know. It is a new high watermark for storytelling and role-playing games and a triumph of imagination in world building. There you go. So for those of you that are not familiar with the Deanna Jones Award, it's been around for a while. It's named after the burned remains of Indiana Jones RPG. That's why I say Deanna when everybody says Diana. So the Deanna Jones Award, like for, again, going into more history, Indiana Jones RPG, it was never launched, was it? It was launched. It was terrible. It was a flop. And then they got rid of all of the copies. And there was like a corner of a box, and they put that as part of the trophy that just said Deanna Jones. So, which is kind of weird, right? If you think about it, like, oh, so Indiana Jones was a terrible game, but so this award is derived from a terrible. Anyways, it celebrates excellence in gaming. So there you go. There's one winner every year, one winner. And you can go to the Deanna Jones website, which I don't think is listed here because, well, why not? frankly, it's probably not even updated on the site. But you can go to the website and see previous year's winners. I think one year was like actual play won, kind of as a higher level concept. Yeah, yep. Blake, I'll get you that selfie with Augie. Nick says, yes, seriously, read them. Start with Dying Earth. Oh, okay. I can't read. I mean, I can read. I just fall asleep. I don't know. I could probably take some pretty heavy stimulants and still fall asleep reading a book. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. No. I'm gonna figure it out though. We'll get it squared away. Okay, I think I found where all my stuff starts this week. So D&D rival Paizo has no plans to follow in its virtual tabletop footsteps with Pathfinder, and Starfinder says they're prioritizing the VTTs our fans choose. So, fans, choose wisely. Although they partnered with, was it Mirrorscape? Whatever, right? So it's not a VTT? Really? I guess. Anyways. They say no at this time. They're not doing it. The answer arrives among the background radiation. Wow, background radiation of one D&D. The still unnamed, technically not a new edition, revamp to D&D 5th edition rule set. So, I mean, there you go. Which I think is probably a good move for Paizo, because they're probably like, look, they're going to lose. Like, they're now like going, here are the people that like one D&D. Here are the people like, okay, they're going in that direction. We are not going to go in that direction. And we hope to maintain the people that appreciate the non-technical direction of RPGs is my guess. So Victor said, I posted a pic of Indiana Jones in Discord for anyone interested. So Indiana Jones RPG was pretty weak. I had a copy. Curtis, you still got it. I had a copy. Do you still have it? Ty Sean, your soothing voice always puts me to sleep. I have a recording to help me sleep every night. Well, hey, whatever I can do to help, you're welcome. You're welcome, Ty. There you go. It didn't mention the license with Mirrorscape. Mirrorscape? I can't remember. That's like more of a VR setup than a VTT, maybe. Maybe it doesn't have a lot of the rules built into it. But anyways, whatever. Let's see. I'm not a big. So I didn't put that link in there, did I? Is Lou my link reminder? So I will make sure I put these links in the chat. Chat. Daggerheart reveals logo, first key art at Gen Con. So for those of you waiting with a bated breath, Critical Role's new tabletop RPG, Daggerheart, is being previewed at Gen Con. But I don't know if it has much there. I know they just showed like this, the cover and some of the art. So if you're waiting for that, if it doesn't change, this is some of the things this is kind of some samples of what's coming art-wise. The first piece of art features an anthropomorphic alligator or crocodile character wearing a hat and a flittering a dice between their figures as a cat rubs against it. Now, I have to say that I'm going to buy this for Jeff because I think it's right up his alley. He's been waiting to play a crocodile-type character. The Dragonborn in 5th edition just doesn't do it for him. So, and of course, the cat is just an added plus, I think. So the second image shows what appears to be a cat person with lynx-like ears and a tail wielding some kind of magic. So the character notably appears to be wearing a dark blue tunic or vestment underneath their leather armor or battle gear. Critical Role is a group known as the Cobalt Soul who may be connected, although this could just be as well a coincidence. So there's the There is the art, which I'm taking you to Twitter because it's probably a little bit better there. I could pull them up. That's where they pulled them anyway. If it pulls up, there we go. There it is. There's the crocodile. Look at that hat. That alligator crocodile guy's like a boss. There's like a little deck of cards in his hand. You can barely see it, but I will put this in the chat so you guys can look at it closer. Let's see, and then the second picture, Daggerheart coming 2024. This is one art by Nikki Dawes. Thanks for crediting Nikki, like looking at the cover. No mention of Nikki anywhere. Come on, guys. So, I mean, that's cat-like, I guess. It's not that bad. Not that bad. Let me rephrase that. It's not an anthropomorphic cat. I would say that's a person with some cat-like qualities or traits, whatever. Anyways, there you go. Daggerheart coming. And I want to keep up on Daggerheart and that stuff because it's going to be an interesting place in the RPG hobby in like a year or two. Like, what's going to happen with 1D&D? Everybody's going to be like, probably nothing. But, you know, is Daggerheart going to become like this big, huge juggernaut? I don't know. There's going to be a shakeup, people. There's going to be a shakeup, and we need to be in the know. Okay. Who listens to Welcome to Night Vale? Huh? Who listens to Welcome to Night Vale? It's a podcast. I had it downloaded, and I think I started listening to it, and then I stopped. So today, which would be, as of this article written and put on there, August 3rd, this video is being recorded August 5th of 2023. Renegade Game Studios announced that they were producing and publishing a Welcome to Night Vale role-playing game based on the popular fiction podcast series. So if you're not familiar with that, details about the game were scarce, but it will be released in 2024, not too long. Will they kickstart it? Who knows? The podcast was created by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner and focuses on the strange happenings within the small town of Night Vale. The podcast has been downloaded over 350 million times, just shy of some of the record-breaking downloads that Gaming NBS has experienced. So, hey, welcome to the top big leagues, Night Vale. Yeah. Didn't we say this last time? Like, hey, have a property, you get an RPG, and you get an RPG, and you get an RPG. Wendy's has an RPG. Actually, it's a adventure, right? Wendy's, fast food, man. What the hell? Arby's putting out dice. Like, what is going on in this world? So anyways, Renegade Studios credited with like World of Darkness titles, My Little Pony, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Also has done Kids on Bikes, Gods of Metal, Ragnarok, and Altered Carbon on their portfolio of games. So there you go. There you go. Adam says, I think I've listened to Night Vale 10 years. I haven't listened to it. Mr. Panther 54 says, I used to listen years ago. I enjoyed it. Chris says, I'm a Welcome to Night Vale fan to the point where I've seen a live Night Vale show. I have no idea how this game works. I'm so confused by this. I don't know. Well, it's probably just going to be set in Night Vale, and isn't Night Vale have the weird things that go on? Like, I have to imagine. My speculation doesn't really say. Not a lot of details, but I don't know. Curtis says, I'd like to see Magnus Archives. Good podcast. That's not the one that Monty Cook's doing, right? He's doing one on the podcast too. Ty says, don't go into the dog park. Was that as bad as the Burger King Xbox game? Burger King had an Xbox game? What? Roger says, I've also seen a live show of Welcome to Night Vale. Very nice. It might be awesome. I mean, some of those experiences are pretty cool. I mean, Glass Cannon has live shows. I mean, come on. So, and good for them. All right, let's see. What else? Moving on. MCDM got a Kickstart. No, it's not a Kickstarter. It's crowdsourcing. BackerKit. They have so if you're on BackerKit, you have a BackerKit kitter. You have a backer. A BKer. Kickstarter. The tissue or the Kleenex of crowdfunding. MCDM, who's in on this? 150,000 minimum. They are at 216K. Will it hit 1 million? Like, has all of his Kickstarters gone over 1 million? Blake Ryan, fact checker, my crowdsourcing fact checker. I think it has, right? Like every, because all of his stuff was on Kickstarter before. So this will be interesting. If it doesn't hit some of those milestones, will Matt go, well, it's because it's on BackerKit? There's 8,000 backers on this. I'm interested to know what he did to hit those 1 million, like quantity-wise. I did not get on this for a variety of reasons. One is I'm not playing the 5th edition game. It's just for printing of the book, says Chris. All backers of the monster book got the PDF for free. Well, that's good. There aren't any milestones, Sean? You got to read through this one? You mean there's no, stretch goals? Which is fine. Good. Sometimes stretch goals, and I can't imagine managing a project like that. And frankly, I really wonder about the value of stretch goals. Like our RPG publishers that do stretch goals, is there statistics that say, look, if you have stretch goals, you will make X amount more? Not make more money, because you might not. With stretch goals, you might actually eat into your money. But do you get more backers because there are stretch goals and milestones? So it's damn impressive that this book did so well. Oh, I'm not taking anything away from 200 grand in the RPG hobby by any means, but I think it's going to fall short of 1 million. It's only got 10 days left. Oh, I know what you're saying, Chris. There isn't hey, kick in, the $100 level, and then if you did that, then it would be obviously higher. I gotcha. My bad. That's probably what you're getting at. Not so much the stretch goals. I got it. So it's literally probably one book times 8,000 people. That's how much he's making. So I guess that is if you did an average dollar amount per backer, what would it be? Maybe it's higher on this one than this previous ones. Lots of designers. Look at all those. It's a who's who of 5e. James Tricasso, the design director, of course, being on staff there. There's Teos Abadiah, no Teos, and Rudy Basso. Whole kinds of people in there. What other names? Lots of ones that everybody probably knows. Who's who? That's a lot. Well, it's a monster booking. Hey, you come up with 5 monsters. So spread the wealth, right? Yeah. And then the art director probably is a big deal, right? for a monster book. Tad says, as a backer, stretch goals often tip me into backing. Really? Well, I suppose, I guess it does make sense if they have like Kickstarter exclusives. Speaking of which, like The Walking Dead, right? Like they're like last minute pledges or whatever. And I was considering buying an extra, like not an extra copy because I didn't go in on the special edition, but I mentioned this, like I could get it because they're not going to have it again. Get it, put it on the shelf, wait a year, put it out on eBay. Get a 20% return. Probably better than my savings account. better than a 5-year CD. I just need to buy a lot of them. How many can I get? Well, and Curtis, that's a good point. I always worry about stretch goals delay the product release. Well, yeah, for sure. And, you know, like how much does that complicate things? I don't know. I'm not a publisher. I only play one on the stream. All right. I keep bringing up comicbook.com stuff, so go and check them out. But, oh, God, their ads are just, make me cringe on this site. Sorry, comic book. It's just the way it is. Dungeons and Dragons' movie sequel could still happen with one condition. That's right, folks. They said that the CEO of Brian Robbins said this week in Variety ran a profile on Brian Collins. Wait a minute. According to Paramount Pictures CEO Brian Robbins, this week Variety ran a profile on Brian Collins. I'm confused. The Paramount Pictures CEO is who is ushering in a new era for the studio. During the interview, Robbins talked with several recent projects, including D&D Honor Among Thieves, which received plenty of acclaim and good word of mouth, but was seen as something of a disappointment at the box office. And if it's a disappointment, that means money, folks. So two ways to be disappointing: money and bad reviews, which probably turns into no money, but not always. So the one thing that he said is he's like, yeah, okay. Collins didn't rule out making a D&D movie sequel, but he gave any future movie a very big condition, which is we've got to figure out a way to make it for less. There you go. So look for the next low budget version of D&D the sequel movie coming to a theater, maybe directed by Sean Kelly and starring Blake Ryan. I don't know. This one I'll bring up. All kinds of goodness. Lots of D&D. I know Ty loves that stuff. The reviews were great for it. Yeah. Just not enough money. Probably not a lot of returners. Like, how many of you guys watched it more than once? Everybody in the chat says, I watched it 5 times. It was awesome. Hasbro announces partnership with Explored to bring AI smart technology to games, specifically board games. Let's not freak out. It's not to D&D yet. But, you know, Hasbro, D&D, Wizards, something to keep in mind on. Yeah, keep an eye on and your mind on. Hasbro announced a new partnership that will add smart sensing technology, AI, and dynamic multimedia to its board game line. There's like smart dice, RFIDs, sensors to keep track of gameplay, resolving rules in real time. You know what doesn't break in a board game? Analog. Dice, cards, board, pieces. never break. You know what does break? Electronics, sensors, RFIDs. So, lights. Good luck. Although it may be the time, right? Maybe they're just solid as a rock. They don't go bad. LEDs, like, they don't burn out for a very, very, very long time. So we'll see how this comes about. We'll see how it comes about. I only put this out there only because it's something to look at, because it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of how and how it looks like in the RPG space. See, I'm reading the last. Notably, Hasbro was caught in an AI controversy earlier this year when an alleged insider claimed that Hasbro's Wizards of the Coast was working on an AI system for D&D, a claim Wizards of the Coast denied. They probably weren't working on it. Somebody probably heard that they were looking at it and trying to understand it, and then that got converted into, oh, they're working on it. What? So, yeah, okay. But let's face it, lack of dungeon masters. I'm telling you, we got to unite. Got to get the union together. GMs have rights too. We will not be silenced by our AI overlords. We can run a game just as good or better. Go freely. I know, Victor, right? I told you guys, like, freely, every time I go onto ads and on sites like this, I get overwhelmed by Free League ads. Like, they know. I'm on the shill team. You guys want to be a part of the shill team? It's hard not to be, let me tell you. There we have part-time and full-time roles. Yep. I'm not going to talk about this one. Not a big deal. Let's see. We'll go on. Any awards? You guys keep track of who won? That is not. That's the Coyote and Crow, Deanna Jones. That's Night Vale. I brought that up. That's the new News Digest. You know who cleaned house at the Ennies? Freely. I think they won every category they were up for. And I think they all won gold. I thought there was a silver, but yeah. They didn't win all of them. But they won all the ones they were up for. Free League. Everybody's got one Free League. Does anybody have, now seriously, serious question. Is anybody in the chat, I know there's a couple, that do not own a Free League product or something affiliated with Free League? And I say something affiliated could be, because Merkborg, Pirate Berg, I always say Berg, Merkborg and Pirate Borg, they're all like Stockholm Cartel, but they are kind of like in the Free League catalog, I would say. Anybody? I am the shill team, Victor. Hey. No shame. Shill Team 6. You know the deal, Wayne. Anybody not own? I'm not seeing anybody chiming up. Nelson says, I believe I own all of them. Well, Nelson, you are honorary shill team. You don't have to be active. You could just, if you buy 6 or you buy all their games, I would say you would get an honorary pin. Guilty. Chris, even I, who doesn't play Free League games, own Tales from the Loop, Vaesen, and Into the Odd. There you go. Well, that's right. I forgot about Into the Odd. Look at that. See? My Mr. Pants 54, that Dragon Bane box set is pretty good. Yeah. Shield Team 6 reserves. That's right. Who does not own one Free League game? Something they put, it's on their site as far as I'm concerned at this point. Because I don't think it's like Modifius, I think it featured some Free League on their site, and it's not their product. So I think they were helping them with distribution at one point. As a matter of fact, we had an article that referenced I went to the author, so I saw an article. I don't know if I mentioned it on stream, where they were talking about Modiphius, and then they were like blah 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 blah, like freely or for like Forbidden Lands, and I'm like, Forbidden Lands is not Modiphius's product. Where did you get that, author? Online journalism, baby. Ty, me, no Free League books or PDF. Really? Come on, Ty. None. Zero? It's just a matter of time, Ty. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Because if you're tuning into this stream, you're going to get marketed it all the time. Yeah, baby. Not interested in Free League yet. You forgot yet. Y-E-T. You put that at the end of that statement. Yet. Tad says, I'm about 60% ownership of the entire FL catalog. Curtis says, blasphemer. He must be absorbed. Curtis, he's in your neck of the woods. Just drive down the street and get him. Stick him in the trunk, take him to an isolated area, and run Free League games. Make him play. We here at How to RPG do not condone acts of violence or abduction in order for people to play role-playing games. Wayne says, my only shill sin is that I do not own any of the non-free league IP games. Alien, Blade Runner, The One Ring. That's all right. It's okay. No Free League. Ty, you are a rarity. M. Catron, I've had Coriolis for a few years. Yeah. Don't worry, Ty, says Matty Q. Matty Q, you got Free League stuff. Harrigan says, I'm about 95% of the catalog, including all Symbaroum, Borgs, Into the Odd, etc. Do you have all of the Mutant Year Zero, Mr. Harrigan? Because that's a pretty big catalog there. Big product line. This segment of the stream, not sponsored by Free League, but certainly should be. You're welcome. Adam says, I need to get Vass into the table. As soon as you watch our video, I got it. You're putting it on hold. I understand. Medicue, you'll touch those beautiful line-backed covers, silk ribbons, and quality vellum pages, and you'll be all done. Yeah. Matt knows. I picture Matt saying that in a very, like a wispy video, maybe with some smoke kind of flowing through the frame, hair blowing in the wind. Pictures of the book, touching the book quite intensely. Nope, that's the 5%. Yeah, same here. I only have Elysium. Bunch of PDF. I got on some of those bundles as well. Curtis, the tactile qualities of the Vaesen book is enthralling. Indeed. Well, let's get into this, all right? Let's get into some of this news. Some of these guys that are like, oh, I'm getting so tired about hearing about Free League. It's like hearing about the sports teams sagas in their certain eras, right? Like the Bulls, Lakers, some of the, I don't know what I'm talking. Sports ball. All right, so let's get into News Digest. I think maybe, I don't know if they covered the Ennies in here or not, but we'll see. Starfinder playtest. Did you guys see this? So Starfinder 2nd edition, as announced at Gen Con this past weekend. It's going on. Gen Con is currently going on as of this recording. Thursday, I think they said that this was happening. So 2nd edition is coming. They want 2nd edition and Pathfinder 2nd edition. So for Starfinder 2E, Pathfinder 2E to be like compatible, like very compatible across each. So if you want to take your Starfinder character and put it into the Pathfinder adventure path, no problemo, no conversions, nothing. The new edition of Starfinder will be released under ORC license. Use the 3 action economy from Pathfinder 2E. So it'll be cross-compatible with one another. So they are going to do a public playtest starting in 2024. You can go over to their website and sign up for that. and they want it to be the biggest play test in RPG ever. And then, so the full playtest rulebook, summer 2024, is a softcover rulebook, which they've done in the past. And they said there was no release date has been announced for the final rules, but I thought they said 2025 for the end product. But in this article, it says no, there is no date. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe 2025, somebody just pulled it out of their butt and put it on Twitter. Who knows? So there you go, Paizo fans. Deanna Jones mentioned. We mentioned Welcome to Night Vale. Marvel Multiverse role-playing game has been released. That's gotten the buzz around. It's like on Roll20 now. Congratulations to Matt Forbeck. I know Matt. I've talked to Matt. He'll probably be at Gamehole Con this year again if you are a Matt Forbeck fan. And if you want your book signed, bring Multiverse role-playing game with you, and I'm sure he'll sign it. So it's out. They played it. I think streamed it at. I think Glass Cannon was going to stream it. Oh, Comic-Con was like last weekend. So they played it even before it was released. It's out there. Get it while it's hot. Stockholm Cartel announced 3 new books at Gen Con, expanding the Merkberg franchise to include Cyborg and a setting book for Cyborg titled Waste 20X4. Picking up 1 year after the events of the core rulebook and described by designer Christian Salen as new year, worse shit to describe the lack of progress in the setting since the players first set foot in the city. The source book will include new classes, factions, scenarios, reference tables, and rules for car chases and vehicular combat. And then next is Dead Flag Contracts, a collection of scenarios for the sci-fi horror Death in Space, which I have. I have Cyborg as well. I've not gotten to the table. Death in Space, the adventures will take place on an old fuel depot on Lepidoperturathat? Damn word. A new jungle planet now home to forgotten shred of society remaining after the Gem War. Players will once again be a bunch of nobodies stuck surviving on galactic scraps with new tools, tables, and resources. Finally, there's the first expansion for the soon-to-be-released Pirate Borg, the alternate history campaign setting Dark Caribbean. What if the new world was filled with nothing but zombies? Hey-oh. But there's good news. Good news. As the undead bodies can be turned into ash, a powerful magical component that has set off a resource scramble on the deadly land. So, the resource has a value, and the zombies are that. So you would kill the zombies regardless, but then you get a boon for it. So it's like this weird meta currency. Interesting. And of course, they're all expected sometime in 2024. With distribution still handled by Free League. So Free League distributes them. Stockholm Cartel, not technically Free League stuff, I guess, right? One Ring. Ooh. I got to imagine this dungeon, right? Moria. The Long Dark. So there's going to be a Kickstarter for The Long Dark, for the One Ring 2nd edition, and Lord of the Rings 5th edition. So they'll probably have 2 versions. I think that actually one's named one thing, and the other one's, yeah. The 5e version will be Moria Shadow of Khazad-dûm. That's the difference. And then the other one's just going to be Moria, I think The Long Dark for the original. Yeah. Oh, I have the One Ring, so now I'm sucked into the One Ring. But I don't have the other expansion. Is it out? I think it's out. Phil might know. He might not even be there, but I think it's out. But anyways, come on, man. Flee, you fools. Balrog and everything. Yeah, baby. Come on, Ty. Come on, Ty. Yeah, come on. Shadowrun Takedown. Catalyst Games announced Kickstarter for a new cooperative board game. Shadowrun Takedown board game. There you go. Roll20 confirmed on Twitter that an outage on Thursday was caused by a DDoS attack. What? Oh my God! They're targeting Roll20. Bastards! Snarkiness, but I will refrain. So if you had a problem this past Thursday of this recording, which would have put it on the 3rd of August, 2023, Thursday afternoon, 2 p.m. It says 2 p.m. Thursday. 2 p.m. Thursday when? What time zone? I don't know where that would have been. Intermittent issues. They may still pop up. Well, there you go. So, yeah. Baldur's Gate 3 on PC. Okay, it's out. Great. Go play it. Kickstarter announced the new AI policy for all projects launched on the platform. So it's not saying you can't have Kickstarters that you like projects on their platform that uses AI, but I think they're wanting you to disclose it. Yes. Any Kickstarter project using AI algorithmic generation tools for generating images, text, or any other output must disclose details on the project page, including which elements are original and which will use algorithmic generation. Any project that is developing new generative AI technology must disclose information about databases and data the creator intends to use, along with how the data sources handled consent and credit for the data used. If a project does not have safeguards in place to manage consent for content used to train the algorithm, such as opt-in or opt-out options, Kickstarter is unlikely to allow the project. So in other words, in short, if you have an AI that is doing art, how was the AI trained in that art? Was it like combing creatives' portfolios and using that as a model to kick out art via your prompt for it? And if it is, and it's not it was not done with consent, then Kickstarter's like, hey, no thanks, don't put it on our platform. If that, I don't even know how you would check. Like, how do you check that? How would you know? I don't even know. I don't know. Midjourney. I don't know how they get it. I'm sure it's like nefarious ways, but is everything that they do that nefarious? Like, and how it's trained? I don't know. It's complex. It's complicated, folks. So there you go. Any creator attempting to misrepresent the project or skirt guidelines will result in restrictions from submitting a Kickstarter project in the future. It goes into effect on or after Tuesday, August 29th, 2023. What else is going on? Did I miss anything in the chat? As soon as Sean played let me just catch up here. As soon as Sean played a Fate game with me, I might watch enough or a money bribe, I might be convinced to read the back cover of an FL book. I cannot believe you are not mildly curious. Like, even I go into RPG stores and go, what's this? And pick it up and look at it. Like, come on, Ty. Come on. This guy. None of Free League's interesting to me. Wow. Okay, all right. Yeah, Matty Q says, Wayne, you gotta let me meet on the doorstep for the red caps. Take away books, everyone know that. Curtis says, they really need to consider the age of us grognards when releasing books. Will I live to see it? Tends to cross my mind these days. Come on, Curtis. Come on. Thursday's one of the days that I don't have a game, Curtis says, regarding Roll20's outage. Dodge that bullet, Curtis. Ty says, unless FL gets the license for the right to Jim Butcher's Dresden Files, I will never look at FL books. Wow. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That's where that's Ty's world. Okay. I do not think how anybody could do Dresden better than it is done with Fate. Okay. All right. I mean, I have to understand and I have to relate because being a part of the shill team, Ty has to be, on the shill team of my counterparts, of course. Wait, you still have RPG stores? Curtis says, all right. Let's go back. All right. Hasbro, E1. So they finally sold it. Finally. We got somebody that wants to buy this garbage off of us. God, I'm so tired of managing this thing. What a pain in the ass. And there's a strike going on. What do we don't need this shit. So Hasbro has finally sold E1 to Lionsgate. Lionsgate has picked it up. So they must have said, it's a pretty good deal for $500 million. It includes 6,500 titles, plus the film and television production assets of the company, including the unscripted business and shows like The Rookie, Yellow Jackets, and Naked and Afraid. It does not include any Hasbro branded material such as D&D Honor Among Thieves, the planned D&D TV series, or the D&D Fast streaming network. Right, that was announced too earlier this year. We had mentioned it on the stream. So, you don't get those. We keep those. Excluded brands also include Peppa Pig. Oh, thank God. Transformers, Magic the Gathering, no-brainer. My Little Pony, Play-Doh, Monopoly, and Clue, among others. So Hasbro CEO Chris Cox said in a statement, blah, blah, blah. Thank you, Chris. They announced plans to sell the company late last year. And the company sold the music division of E1 to Blackstone Group in 2021 for $385 million. So the deal with Lionsgate will be approximately $500 million. That's $500 million, if my math is correct. And is expected to close by the end of the year. Hasbro purchased E1 in 2019 for $3.8 billion. Not sure if that's a net gain, I guess. I mean, 3.8 billion. I thought it was 3.8 million. Oh, well then there you go. Oops. Yeah, that's oof. Did not get the return on that one, right? Or did they? I don't know. They could have bought it for 3.8 billion, but how much did it make them? Did they make it up? Is it a net gain for them? I don't know. For cost, for like the buy and sell, no, obviously, but I don't know. There you go. What do you think about that, guys? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Let's see. Some other things that I wanted to mention. This kills me. Think of the pig content. All right, let's see. So, Gary Gygax's park bench dedication. Aw, isn't that nice? Lake Geneva's going to give a park bench in honor for Gary. Huh. Probably put it on the map. Look, oops, I should probably show. I do not worship at the altar of Gygax. I appreciate what Gary has done for the hobby, and no question. But I got to say, this kind of like, considering they were trying to get a memorial put down there, somewhere. It's on one of the streets, a statue, a plaque, and it went nowhere for a couple reasons. One of which is like the people that want it, and then Gail's like getting the funds and not getting it done, and the struggles with the city. Like there's all kinds of stuff going on with the Gygax Memorial. But so if this is we can't do all this other stuff, but we can do this. Okay. But it seems like, man, really? A park bench. So today, Thursday, 27th of July, 2023, a dedication ceremony for a park bench dedicated in memory of D&D co-creator Gary Gygax is taking place in Lake Geneva. The notice was posted by Gygax's daughter, Heidi Gygax Garland. They kind of put the map on this piece of paper where it's going to be. Additionally, Gygax's wife, Gail, shared an image of a proclamation by the mayor of Lake Geneva announcing Gary Gygax Day. Thursday, 27th July was Gary Gygax's birthday. For those that didn't know, here's Gary Gygax Day from the mayor, and that was it. So that's the article, yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't worship at the altar of Gygax, but I think he deserves a little bit more than a park bench, for sure. Let's see. Where? Oh my goodness. Let's see. Oh man. What? Well, let's go to print news. Yeah, we'll go to print news. Oh, I haven't gone down the Ennies yet. Should we go down to the Ennies? Does everybody know who won the Ennies? Is everybody aware? Kind of. Some of these might not be a surprise. Did everybody vote? Did you exercise your civil duties? That's what I want to know. Like, because that's. I mean, if you didn't, then some of these are going to be lost on you. All right, so. I don't know if you guys will be able to see these very well because they're probably not on the Ennie site yet. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. Da-dun-dun. Choose free will. Roger. All right, let me blow this sucker up. The chat. I don't need you guys. Boink, 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 boink. Boink, boink. Here we go. Wow, look at that. That's nice and grande. Streamed from, oh my goodness. Jeez. Streamed from, live from Gen Con. It's the Ennie Awards. Hey, oh. Best silver content goes to TTRPG Kids. Gold award for best online content goes to Linda Codega's IO9 reporting. So again, I mentioned that earlier. So she got the gold for her investigative journalism into the OGL fiasco. Congratulations. Silver award for best podcast goes to How We Roll. Gold award for best podcast goes to Seth Skorkowski. I don't know Seth. I've never met Seth. From people that have met him and know him and watched him, it sounds like I don't know How We Roll either. I'm sure they're good people, but Seth being a YouTuber, like some people would say, I can't think of a better guy who could win that. But so there you go. Good ambassador to the hobby, apparently, I would say, right? Silver award for best 8 accessory digital goes to Session Zero System. Okay, that was like the game that was Session Zero that I was commenting on like a couple weeks ago. Was like, if it was like a guide to Session Zero, like some alternative options for Session Zero, it was like a full-fledged game. They won the silver. The gold goes to Rim Space Planet Generator, which is the one from the Kickstarter Shoot, it's the Mothership Kickstarter. Who got into it and told me last time? Shoot. I can't remember the Mothership Kickstarter. It's their thing. Rim Space Planet Generator. I brought it up on stream. Show you guys. You could like kick up planets pretty quickly. Oh, that's gonna bother me now. Silver award for best accessory. Hull Breach. Thank you, Nubis. I knew Nubis reminded me last time too. Thanks, Nubis. Hull Breach Kickstarter did this. Rim Space Planet Generator. It's pretty cool. Silver award for best 8 accessory non-digital goes to the Witcher hybrid dice set. Wolf Golem's Heart. The gold went to Decuma, the RNG for your RPG. So congratulations to Kimmy. I reached out to her on Discord and offered her a big congrats after she was announced. So she oversees Happy Jacks, and she had done I do not have a copy, admittedly, but I might have to go and grab one. It's like a tarot deck that helps for your RPG. It's like super well designed, aesthetically for sure. So go and buy Kimmy's stuff at Golden Lasso. I think it's goldenlasso.net. Just do Golden Lasso Decuma and you will get it. Silver award for best RPG related products goes to Dragon Bond, Dragons of the Red Moon. Gold award for best RPG related products goes to Owlbear Plush. So Owlbear Plushie. Silver award for cover art. Swords of the Serpentine, which I played last night. So yeah, congratulations out to, I don't know who did the cover art, but Kevin Culp is the person behind Swords of the Serpentine, and that is put out by Pelgrim Press. The gold cover went to Historica Arcanum, the City of Crescent. Silver award for interior art goes to Seven Sinners. Gold interior art goes to Vaesen RPG, Mythic Britain and Ireland. I mean, there's the one of them for Free League. Silver award for best organized play goes to Cat's Paws. The gold goes to Under the Cover of Stars. Silver for best cartography goes to Claw Atlas. New maps for Beak, Feather, and Bone. What's up, Kev? And then the gold for cartography goes to Blade Runner RPG starter set. It's pretty cool. It's got like a street district in the Blade Runner universe, and it's all black. And then the buildings and structures is like kind of a top-down view, and they're all outlined in like gold, a yellowish gold, listing all the different things that you would run into in this like market district. It's pretty cool. And a couple other maps I think that are in there too. As a matter of fact, the maps are also for the locations that they have that you would go to in the starter set scenario. So, and that's by a Free League. So there you go. Next, silver award for best monster adversary goes to Fate Forge Book 5, Creatures 2 Netherworld. Gold award for best monster adversary goes to Ruins of Symbaroum Bestiary by Free League. I gotta tone it down. I don't want to turn people away from him. Like, God, this guy's really obnoxious. One thing I never want to buy, like Ty will be that guy. Sean's so obnoxious, I'll never want to buy Free League just because he's like too much. Silver award for best adventure goes to Journeys Through the Radiant Citadel. So Wizards is back on the Any board after a long hiatus, ladies and gentlemen. Gold goes to Vaesen RPG Seasons of Mystery by Free League. What's up, Laramie? Just going through the Any Award winners. Silver award for best family game product goes to the Goblins. Gold is Avatar Legends, the role-playing game starter set. Silver for best electronic book goes to Host and Hostility, 3 Regency Call of Cthulhu scenarios. I might have to check that out. I haven't played COC for a while. The gold for best electronic book goes to Brindlewood Bay. So congrats over to Jason Cordova and the Gauntlet folks and things of that nature. Brindlewood Bay. I might have to check out Brindlewood Bay. Silver for best free game or product goes to Shrine of the Jaguar Princess. And gold goes to Root, the RPG Talon Hill Quick Start. Some of you guys might know some of these. Silver for best rules goes to Rivers of London, the role-playing game. Gold goes to Avatar Legends, the role-playing game, which is interesting because now I'm intrigued to know what those rules are for both of those games. Silver for best setting goes to Swords of the Serpentine. So congratulations to Kevin. It's number 2 for him. I think he ends up winning 3. Gold award for best setting goes to Vaeus, an RPG, Mythic Britain and Ireland, by, you know the deal. Not even going to say it. Silver for best supplement goes to Cess and Citadel. Gold award for best supplement goes to Barkeep on the Borderlands. Silver award for best layout and design goes to Frontier Scum. Somebody mentioned Frontier Scum on the Discord. Shill's got a shill. That's right. Like what you like and shill it to a decent amount. Yeah, well, I gotta read the room, right? Gold award for best layout and design goes to Blade Runner RPG Core Rulebook by Free League. Silver for best product value goes to Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, The Enemy Within, Empire in Ruins, Collector's Edition. And then gold award for best product value goes to Blackbird's RPG, Servant of the Gods Edition. Silver for best writing goes to Wild Sea. And gold goes to Swords of the Serpentine, which is hilarious because we were playing it last night and there was something in the scenario or in the book. We were like, what? Who wrote that? And of course they recognized it as best writing literally after it was announced. It was hilarious. You had to be there. Fans' choice for best publisher, Free League, best publisher. So many games, just cranking them out. Silver for best game goes to Trophy, which now has me more intrigued about Trophy. And then the best game gold goes to Fabula Ultima Core Rulebook. And then silver for product of the year goes to Fabula Ultimate Core Rulebook. And then the gold for product of the year goes to Vaeus and RPG, Mythic Britain and Ireland. So product of the year is the big ones, and best game of the year. Like as we go up the list, it's the best actor, best film categories of the RPG Annie Awards. And that was it. That was all she wrote. So congratulations to everybody that was nominated, because that's no small feat. And congratulations to everybody that won silver and gold. Check out a lot of those games. Check out some of the nominations, the people that were nominated that may not have gotten the silver or gold. They're still worthy of a purchase. And frankly, some of them may appeal to you more than some of the silver or gold winners. It's just RPGs are personal taste. So just because they didn't get the big ribbon doesn't mean that they're any less interesting or maybe even more so. No passion. Oh, yeah, man. That is a good point. No passion. Damn. I don't have to have to. I was looking forward to it, honestly. Shield Team 6, mission accomplished. Well, it's just another day, Wayne. It's rough out there, but, we manage. Yes, Passion did not win. Passion, El Passionis. I must be in this RPG. I would probably sound like Puss in Boots from from the cartoon. All right. My life revolved around the Passion idea. I'm sorely disappointed. Well, Nubis. I mean, it's not the game hasn't gone anywhere. Like I got a $50 gift card for a Noble Knight from my boss for my 1-year anniversary. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe that's my next purchase. Maybe I'll have to check and see if it's in its stock at Over Noble Knight. Fire that sucker up. All right, let's see. Print news. Tools for Frontier Living by Mongoose Publishing for Traveler 2300 AD. $50 is out in print. Go and buy it if you are a Traveler Mongoose fan. Next one, Salzenmund, City of Salt and Silver by Cubicle 7 for Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition. $40. And I'll put this link into the chat for you guys. Kong, Skull Island, and Pacific Rim by Evil Genius Games. System D&D 5th edition Everyday Heroes. That seems like they need to refactor that. Can they just put System 5e? Like, instead of D&D 5e Everyday Heroes? Because it's not D&D system, right? Like, is it? I don't know. One of the same? Maybe I'm being pedantic. I don't know. Anyways, there you go. Again, if you don't remember Evil Genius Games, they're the folks that really like D20 Modern. So they started that, and that's what their deal is all their games are based off of the 5e kind of SRD, if you will, but they're all for these particular IPs that they have. Like I think they got Escape from New York, Pacific Rim, obviously King Kong or Skull Island. There you go. Let's see. Secrets of Spirehome and Secrets of Spirehome Special Edition. System is Shiver by Parable Games. $50 and $75. Grimy city setting of gothic horror. They were an NA nominee. There you go. It's out in print. Check it. Planagia, 5th edition. Out in print. It's the whole spiel. Looks like the deluxe set, song, standard edition, GM screen, In the Lair of the Night thing by Atlas Games. Justin Alexander works. I think he's still there. And that's it for print news. Print news. I need a stinger. All right, RPG crowdfunding. I want to thank EN World for supplying us all with these little tidbits of information, shall we? Check out EN World. This stream is not sponsored by EN World or endorsed by it or any way associated with it. I should probably put that disclaimer at every stream. And I don't want to get them in trouble. I'm just reading it off their site, people. Crowdfunding news. X-Crawl Classics. Powered by DCC RPG. Nick, are you still there? Did you get in on this? Core rulebook. The most popular pledge is 200 bones. Shipping and handling of the PDF print versions, the core rulebook, GM screen, and 12 other books. There's Genius, and then there's X-Crawl, powered by DCC. All right, see you, Kev. Look at that, man. Look at that. 10 grand. It's at 200. Good for Brendan LaSalle, right? That's his game, right? That's awesome. That's fantastic. Crystals of Zaleth, survival solo adventure for 5th edition. It's Canadian dollars from Obvious Mimic. 5th edition, 101 grand. Wow. No DM or party required. Solo adventure works with 5e rules. No DM, no other players, just your character in the adventure book. It's a solo RPG system. It's a solo adventure. Wow, man. Good for them. Holy cow. Stamp 5e, it just funds. Boom, bam. 500-year-old vampire from Central Michigan University Press. Not to be confused with 1,000-year-old vampire. This is on BackerKit, so no Kickstarter. I'd have to go over to BackerKit and see how it's doing. It's based on a solo adventure it is based on 1,000-year-old vampire. So they're giving credit there by Tim Hutchings. Published by the Hutchingsonian, presents Plagiamata. It expands on that award-winning base with some new ideas. The key difference between the two is 500-year-old vampire's multiplayer RPG rules, whereas 1,000-year-old vampire was a solo experience. Interesting. Look at that. That's what we would call in the software biz as a fork. Forking. That's forking great. So this RPG involves journaling and art making in order to tell the story of vampires that age poorly and lose their humanity. It's a keepsake game in which players craft mementos to chronicle their experiences. There. BackerKit. Should we see what they're doing on BackerKit? How are they doing? I bet it's funded. It's got to be, right? Oh, yeah. 14K goal. They're at 44,000. Next, Aaron's Arcane Compendium of Characters. Take the story into your own hands. 130 diverse and unique fantasy characters to include a Blue Jay person, looks like. It's on BackerKit. System neutral. That's right. You could use it in any system. Or is it the neutral system? That's not very funny, Sean. 10 grand goal. They're at 18. But booyah. So it's 100 fantasy NPCs for your campaign. Diverse, divided into theme decks. Easy to choose with unique character art on each card. This is a good system for those that need a spark to cover each NPC. Next, Master's Tale. From John Melancon, an original system core rulebook. 200 bones is the most popular pledge. Wow. You get PDF and print versions of 5 books, minis, dice, and custom art. Wow, 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 wow. Create a character in under 10 minutes to travel the world, seeking out powerful teachers as you explore and learn their skills. The game's about studying new powers, mastering abilities, and using those to create a unique skill and power set. It's got an 8K goal. It's at 7,800. It's got 6 days to go. Come on, baby, get there. Wow, look at that graph. Return of the Troll God for Merc Borg. It's compatible. Look at that thing from Rocket Pig Games. It's an adventure. $39 for the PDF adventure and the STL files. Can you print that in an STL? Like, you got to probably print those, like, was that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 maybe items? And you maybe glue them on? I don't know. That's crazy. Look at that thing, man. Whoa. Somebody put that down on the table. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. So the crowdfunding takes the inspiration and uses it to create adventures and STL files of miniatures that are next level outrageous. So it's okay. Gives you adventures and miniatures, perfect for any table of Merc board games. $500 goal. It's funded at $3K. Not for me. I don't have a 3D printer, so. But I suppose I could get it, and then when I get a 3D printer. What is this? The real thing. Faith No More. They mentioned doing the role-playing game, and it's out on Kickstarter. The Real Thing RPG, Angel Dust, and King for a Day from Accidental Cyclops Games. Some backer kit. It's PBTA, the Real Thing version. $100 is the typical pledge. Faith No More, the rock band, has a tabletop role-playing game. Yeah, each book contains the system rules and adventure tailored around the album's themes, trust, truth, power. If you're a fan of Faith No More or just love PBTA, this is cool. Where are we at, backer kit? $20,000 minimum. They're at 28. So it's funded with 304 backers. 304 backers at 28K. Oof. That's good for them. Ryan, that's good advice. I don't recommend getting a 3D printer. I recommend having a friend with a 3D printer. Wayne Brennan is a stand-up guy. Very happy for him, for sure. Probably like horses all get up from Gen Con. Let's see. The Gloomholm Murders. An Oubliette adventure module from Void Spiral Entertainment. System is Oubliette 2nd edition adventure. $15 for the PDF version of the adventure. It's funded. $500 goal. It's at $1,200. It's a murder mystery in the land of immortality. 3 dead in a world where death isn't an option. It's like the plot of a novel, but you get to play this investigative adventure. In Oubliette, you exist in the land of the dead as an investigator. With this adventure, you'll need to solve 3 murders as you ask who has the power to infect the deathless with demise. Ooh, yeah. What's old is new again. EM Publishing. And that's the system. So it's £24, shipping and handling, PDF, VTT, print versions of the box set. This should be ended. Yeah, I think it ended probably yesterday or today. I don't know, but 5,000 pound goal. They're at 39. So that's that for crowdfunding news. I think that is all that I wanted to touch on today. Let me make sure. Some of these are just a couple things. No, that's it. I think that's it. That's it. Pretty much. I mean, there's some other things, but there you go. There you go. Fun-filled day of goodness. RPGs. Yay. So, we played Swords of the Serpentine first session. First time, I think all of us have played that game. Wayne in the chat had run it. It's good. It's a Pelgrim Press Gumshoe sword and sorcery game. Takes place in the sinking city of Eversink. Very interesting. Very interesting. It's been a while since I've played anything Gumshoe. It's going well. I like it. I don't know if I'll pick it up. Not sure yet. Got a lot of games. I haven't played. So thank you for Wayne to run it and the guys for playing. And then later this month, Star Trek Adventures. Woot woot. Word is the crew of the to-be-named starship is okay with recording. So I did record the Swords of the Serpentine as well. It's going to be probably 2 sessions, maybe 3 tops, I think, right? Very short arc. Wayne's run for us. Just get just a little taste of the game and the system, and then it'll be on to something else, which I don't even know we have queued up after that. It'll be here before you know it, and then we'll play another game. So I'll probably put that out for people to digest. And then the Star Trek Adventures one. Looking forward to session 0. Be kicking off, I think, like the 22nd of August. So that'll be interesting. I have not given up on the West Marches campaign. So it's a kind of TBD. It's still there. I did interview Ben Robbins. Yes. And I think I mentioned that last week. If not, well, there you go. I did. And so some pretty good tips, I must say. That's kind of all for the RPG world of this guy. Yeah. Gamehole Con is coming up. I've got like 4 events that I'm playing in. I am not running a game on grid still. I'm going to be running War Stories off grid. I haven't determined a time, so we'll see. And then, of course, some of the BSers and people from the chat and people that we know from the Discord are coming. It's going to be off the hook. Lots of people I have not met face-to-face that are going to be there this year. So, yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be fun. Probably about 5,000 people at least. Probably be there here in Madison. It's going to be fun. If you can make it, great. If you can't, I totally understand. It's not that easy. One of these things, I like to go to Gen Con one of these years again. The Gamehole guys, what they do, it's kind of weird. Like it or not, they get a skybox in Lucas Oil Stadium, and they hole themselves up in there, for the entire weekend. Now, there's probably times that they go and get food, and they probably schmooze with people that they're connected to, and Gamehole Con, and whatever the case is, there. But it's funny because I'm like, okay, let me get this straight, Alex. You go to Gen Con, and then you just play with your same home game group at Gen Con. That's going quite a distance just to play with the same guys that you normally game with. But he's like, yeah, but they run one shots. So one shots all weekend, and he has a spin on the Caves of Chaos and Keep on the Borderlands. It's pretty interesting. So going back to that, I'm like, I think Eileen's there. Ekadokin's probably there. And because I think he's in Indiana, if I'm not mistaken. Michael is. And when I was there, the highest it was like 30,000 people. This year people are talking about it's like wall to wall people. So that's not typically my jam. Like, I'm kind of done with crowds. But thinking of Alex's model, I would love to get a skybox with a bunch of you some year, and we just make the pilgrimage to Gen Con and play in a skybox all year. Like, have our own little grid, people running one shots. That would be cool. I don't know how big the skyboxes are. So I don't know the cost. But if everybody chipped in, got their badge, got rooms, and then chipped in for a skybox, I don't know if anybody would be interested in that, but that's what I would like to do. I don't know if that's going to be in the cards anytime soon. So there you go. We'll see. And then before you know it, after Gamehole Con, it's going to be BSerCon 3. So looking forward to playing some games online with some of you. Hope everybody keeps an eye out. That'll be in January. BSerCon Gen Con edition. Yeah, for sure. I think that would be fantastic. I think it would be great. Like, I don't know if 2 skyboxes would be the thing. I mean, that's assuming you want to play with the folks from Discord, and Gen Con could give 2 shits, right? They don't care. well, I don't think any con really cares. You know, they just want you to come in, buy a badge, and have fun. So, Katron, haven't been to a TTRPG gaming convention in probably 18 years. Yeah, mine is going on 12. Well, not a Gen Con. Haven't been to a gaming convention. Oh, you gotta. Katron, you're local, aren't you, Katron? I thought you were local. If you are, you should get to Game Con if you can. It's a good time, good fun. Conventions aren't for everybody. Some people just don't care for them. A lot of the crowd thing can be a little overwhelming, for sure. No question. Sometimes it's hectic. The last time I went to Gen Con, I was in Wisconsin. Though I went to the first one in Indianapolis, the first year that it was. And then I went the next two, I think, after that. Oh, you're in Kentucky. Well, then never mind. Never done TTRPG before. Only done Comic-Con. Yeah. Yeah, it's probably quite a bit different. I had been in Milwaukee, which is crazy growing up here. Only going to Gen Con once. It was 1987, I think it was. 1987 with Prenzlau. He was here earlier, but he might have bounced. It's changed. It's funny, like some of it has just not changed a bit. It's so funny. Like gaming conventions, they just haven't, like, it's the same. Like the experience might be smoother or not. Like housing was easy to get. Housing wasn't easy to get. You can do online reservations. I mean, back in the 87, man, you're like calling a hotel. Hey, I need this room under this block. Now it's just doing it all online, which isn't a huge difference, except probably for the numbers. But I think I didn't, when I started going to conventions, it wasn't till really like the second time I'd been to GaryCon that I really knew what I was doing. Like, I don't know why. Like, how do you sign up for an event? Or, you know, how does that work? And I think it was overcomplicating things. So like the Gen Con in 87, when we were there with Prenzlau, no plan, wandered around, you know, it was, looking back, I'm like, God, it's kind of boring, honestly. But now it's like, okay, got it. Sign up for events. Don't run events after, you know, off grid. I probably know more people too. Like I you know, going to GaryCon, going to Gamehole Con, even Gen Con, like I would know different people that I wouldn't like. Oh, I know all those guys from GaryCon and DCC are online, and so I know how they run or they stream, or it's just different now. Like before going to Gen Con in 87, it was like I didn't know anybody. It's just me and my buddy, right? So how do we sign up for games? And like, is it a tournament? And we were like, I'm sure I was afraid to get into a game and screw things up. Pick up games, man. I was at Gen Con 93, the year of Magic the Gathering. Yeah. Pick up games. Yeah, man. For a long time, I only attended the con I helped run. RPGA killed my love of cons. Gamehole got me back in. I remember the RPGA. Wondered how that worked. I've actually been in a D&D open event. Like, and we got fairly decent. Like we were one game away from making like the semifinals. Interesting. I was with Doc and Jimmy and a couple others that I gamed with. And I was picked up as like one of the guys who couldn't make it. So they're like, hey, can you be our 5th or 6th? And I'm like, okay. How much money should you have to go to a game con, right? Yeah, for sure. If it's local, it's like, obviously you don't have to play, you know, look, the people that are coming to Gamehole Con, like, thank you. It's awesome. I love seeing you guys, but I get why people aren't making treks across the country to go to a gaming convention. It's not cheap. They're using their limited PTO, and they've got family and kids that they take care of and go to vacations on and things of that nature. So taking time out of their PTO bank to go there. And a round trip airfare is going to be, well over $500 probably. Hotel is going to be, if you're splitting it, great, but you're probably at least paying $100 a night for 3 or 4 nights. You're up to at least $1,000, $1,200. Yeah, it's not cheap. Plus the badge, throwing a badge, they're up to like $75. Plus if you pay for events at the con, plus your food for 4 days. Like, yeah, I get it. It is like the ordeal for sure. And imagine like some of these folks that are coming from outside the country. Holy cow. Like, you flew in from where? Holy buckets. Ryan says there was a year I was at Gen Con that They Might Be Giants also performed at Best Con. Yeah. Splitting rooms helps a lot for sure. I remember cramming 15 guys in a room in the old days. For sure. How we did that. The last Gen Con I was at, that I went by myself and I got in, like I mentioned, this Clyde Rower, Theory from the Closet. He's a local guy here, and he's like, I think I literally posted it on Twitter. I'm like, oh, I wish I could go to Gen Con, but I'm like, I don't have anybody to go with or whatever. And he's like, I don't remember if he posted it where he was, hey, I can't make it. So if anybody's interested, I've got a room with some people and let me know. And I'm like, I'll go in your place. And then he had to run it. That's what I remember. The podcast had reserved a block of rooms, and they were just putting people in all these rooms. And he was part of that. And he's like, I've already paid my share, so I'm trying to replace myself. He's like subletting his spot at Gen Con. So I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll go. So he had to run it by those guys, make sure. And then he's like, I'll put you in touch with them. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, then got me in touch with Adam, who is formerly of Fear the Boot. And yeah, roomed with like, how many do we have? 5? I think 5 total in a room. None. I knew nobody. Some of them knew each other. That was the year I met Rob. Rob's not in the chat, I don't think, but that's the year I met Rob from Accidental Survivors and a bunch of others. And it was fun. It's good. But yeah, I don't know. I think nowadays people like that go to conventions probably know how to navigate some of those things, but man, I was totally lost for a while. And I think I'll just go in and hang out here and then I'll hang out there. Much better when you know kind of what you're doing and you have friends there that you know. So, whoops, sorry, Og. Didn't know you're at my feet, buddy. Pinky to lip, $1 million. Right. 15 is a lot of time. It's like, yeah. Curtis says that was in high school. 9-hour overnight games of the nuclear war card game. Yeah, good times. This bunch of 15 young, smelly teenage boys. Go fund me so I can go to Gen Con. How much can you put me down for, Ty? Oh, I don't know. I'll let you know in a month. In a month, we'll see. This dude might not have a job in a month. We'll see. Good times, life. Anyways, I think I'll wrap this up. Let's wrap this up, shall we? All right. I want to thank everybody that supports me. All of you included. Thank you so much for showing up. Really appreciate it. Couldn't do it without you. These folks I want to recognize a little special since they're throwing a few shekels every month. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So yeah, have a good weekend. Thanks for, good weekend or whenever you view this. If it's a week, like if you view it on Monday, have a good weekend the following weekend. So if you haven't put the thumbs up, much appreciated. Otherwise, be a positive force in the tabletop RPG hobby, create, move, learn, and spend time with people you love. And, take some time to yourself during these crazy days. We'll talk to you next week, Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time here on How to RPG.